Alright, welcome back to another week of Supercoach with Supercoach 360. I've got Louis and Con with me this week. Hello, boys.
How are we?
Fantastic.
Hey mate, how are you?
Great. Juzzy's off travelling the world. Good luck with that, Juzzy. He's got to put up with us this week. So, just quickly run through what we've got on the show. Brado's dropped us a video, so we'll be putting that on. Who to trade in and who to trade out, and who you can wait for this week, like who you could ideally wait for. Might not be in your team plans, but we'll see how we go. Great NRL, but poor Supercoach. That's our title for the week. Plus, I want to just touch on that. Like, it's a very, very low scoring round, so I want to dive into that. And then we got Joey Manu versus Garrick. It's a bit of a hot topic around social media. VC and the captain for the week. I feel there's a couple of really juicy options. I want to get the opinions of the boys and anyone out there watching too. If you want to throw your opinions in there when we get to it, feel free. Weekly wrap up brought to us from Windsor Chinese. Adrian throws me one every week. Has Supercoach evolved? It's another question I've got for the boys. I see a lot of past tactics getting thrown out the window, so it's something I want to touch on. Sammy Walker, he's gone. I just want to know if there's benefit to him going or if it'd only be a short thing. And we've got the buys coming up. It's another thing I don't think you should focus too deeply on, as it's only round 8, but round 13's go time and you're going to need a few to at least get to that magic number of 13. So something to look at. And then a lot of the people that are getting cashed out, I looked around in the top 1% and the top 5%. Are heavily trading out all of these except for the one that I added for Con. And people to bring in, we'll have just a chat on that, and then if we have time at the end, we got some questions, and I want to chat the hip drop because I just think that's getting out of control at the moment. But yeah, how'd you go Supercoach wise this week, guys? You both smashed my 998, so I'm a bit disappointed in my coaching life, but we did touch on it last week, Con, if you remember just quickly, that if you do have 10 people have a poor round, and if this goes back to back for me, I'm set to lose a lot of money and points, positions, the whole bit. So I do have faith in a lot of my players because they're highly owned players. It just did happen to a lot of people, so it was a good thing. But yeah, just a lot of people did score low, and I just felt it was due to the quality of football. Like, the football itself is great across the weekend. But yeah, team-wise, fellas, how'd you go? Throw them out there.
I got an 1168.
Which is good, man. That's a good score for the round. Top what?
That's pretty good.
1%.
There you go.
1083.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
top score was 1310 or something. It wasn't very high, not like the 16s we've been seeing. What'd you go, Louis?
I got an 11, 12. Ended up getting. Yeah.
So that's not bad, man. That's up there. Is not far behind Con. So you would have been in the top 2% at least, 1% of scoring.
I think it was 3%. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so not
Yeah.
bad. But yeah, so it's just it was an unders week. I feel like just looking across the board, like I was granted probably the lowest scorer that we have, but across the board I only lost 3,000 spots. So I was really happy with that, which made me feel a lot of people felt the pinch last week, and not so many excelled. Like, yous have excelled in the last week if you really look at the numbers there. But yeah, going into this week, fellas, who do we trade? Like, who are the guys we want to look at trading? It's like your Khan Pereiras, your Warbricks, your Taruvas, Alamottis.
All those sheepies, they're all kind of peaking.
Plus you've got your Carrazas, who's injured. Preston's on the borderline. I see a lot of people, especially in the top 1 and 5%, selling him this week, which
Him to Maddo.
him to Matto would be a good trade. Big Steffi, I know he had the bye last week and wasn't going to lose money, but Big Steph for me, I know they don't play the first bye round, but he's just going to sit there. He's not going to lose your cash, if you know what I'm saying. He's not going to lose any money, like big money, anyway. So I don't think he's a priority sell unless you're getting in a gun front rower. And And then Elise Katoa, is that the Dolphins one?
No.
All right, Elise Katoa, both are highly traded out this week. Both Katoas, the Dolphins one and the Melbourne one. The Melbourne one for me is a bit of a surprise. Like Melbourne,
Isaiah.
Isaiah, yeah, that's right. Which I don't know where you're going with him. He hasn't made enough money or done anything, unless you got Cody Walker money sitting there. I don't know where you're going with that one, but Elise Katoa, I don't know why everyone's so quick to jump off him. He's only really had 2 bad weeks all year. And the whole team didn't score points. If you really look at that game last week, like it was
But he also hasn't gone over 60 or anything, has he?
Yeah, he scored some 70s, bro. He's gone back-to-back 70s even. If you have a look, maybe 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, it comes on whatever they're doing, and they really weren't doing much against Manly the other day. With Munster at fullback, I was assuming a massive.
His high scores are 45.
No, Elise Katoa.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Dolphins one.
No, I'm on the other one. We're not even talking the same Katoas. But yeah, they're highly sold. Who can you wait on this week? Like, who are the ones there that aren't essentially sells this week? Like, I feel you could probably wait a week on Warbrick. Kiraz ain't going to lose your money, but if you're going to hold on 1 week, you might as well hold on for the 3. You know what I mean? You sort of want to use his money quickly.
Well, that's where Manu and Garrick are getting traded in.
Yeah, well, all right. Well, let's sidetrack off there because that's a talking point that we do have here. Manu versus Garrick. I'll start with you first, Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Joey Manu, Reuben Garrick. Why? Why not?
I'm going with Manu, personally. I think against a team like the Dragons in the way they've been so far this year, Manu in 5'8", he's going to be getting the ball in his hands a lot. Against a tired Dragons defence, and we've seen how at times absent their defence has been at times during the game. Joey Manu could cross for a hat-trick and set up 3 tries as well. And, yeah, so that's for that reason I'm going Manu.
Con, want to add to that?
I'm going Manu mainly because of price at the moment, and with that 8 or whatever it was in Reuben Garrick's role on average, that worries me too. I'll probably end up with both of them.
This week?
Not this week, but I'll get Garrick over next fortnight, cash out 1, upgrade number centre wing, but just Manu at 6, touching the ball, 30, maybe 40 times in a game. That excites me.
It's pretty juicy, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the only thing that sways me the other way to Garrick is the bye. Manly have the bye. Won't have Turbo, so he might even play fullback against the Knights, which the Knights are really surprise packet this year. A couple of weeks ago, Con was on to us for getting onto the Knights. Knights have turned up every week since. They really shut us up, mate. I'll tell you. Didn't want to say it, but there's a good chance the Knights punish Manly and Reuben Garrick gets jack shit in that game.
No, well, Manly were good against Melbourne.
Yeah, they were, but they won't have Cherry Evans. They won't have Turbo for this game in 13. Like, this is, I'm looking towards the future of having Garrick.
Yeah, but Garrick will play fullback.
Yeah, but is the points... Joey Manu's going to score points from here to there. Are they going to match up even if Garrick plays 13? Or will Joey Manu outscore him with a game in hand?
Just try and get both in.
If you can.
Don't stress about it.
Yeah, look,
Manu would be my priority this week.
Yep. Both have high BEs. Both have high BEs. I think Manu's is like 111 or 120.
122, I think.
And Garrick's is 140. Achievable against the Tigers. Sorry, Tigers fans. But yeah, it's one of them things. All right, what about when it does come to trading this week? You've used your 4th boost now, Louis. You done good boost today with it last week. Bringing in.
Yep.
Who'd you bring in?
Ryan Madison.
So I feel that was a good boost for you. He's boost worthy.
Yeah.
How many boosts you got left?
2.
On 2. You thinking of using one this week, or would you have to boost to get to Manu, or?
Nah, I just went Calm Pereira to Manu. I had 150k sitting there.
Yeah.
But I want Maddo.
Yeah, would you boost to get Maddo and
That's what I'm thinking.
Joey Manu?
I think it's worthwhile. I mean, break even of 49. He's been pumping out some really, really good scores. Like I'm glad I got him last week.
Well, what was the extra kick in this week? How much did he make? Did he make a lot of money this week,
No.
Maddo?
Not
16k,
a lot.
I think.
So yeah, this is the week to get on with his. What is it? A 46?
Well, even the 49, like he's
49.
not going to jump out of the roof with
If
an
he just
80.
Want his points.
Yeah.
Well, I have to upgrade. I have to up or downgrade Nat Butcher. So if I want to upgrade, I probably would have to boost.
Yeah,
Just to get the money.
I'd have to nuff too.
Would you
I'd
really?
have to nuff out of centre wing. And because there's no cheap.
Well, no,
centre wing.
there's one of the dogs coming this week supposedly, Skelton.
Oh, you got named, did he?
Yeah, he got named on the wing. We didn't get named New South Wales Cup, so I think Declan Casey got named one wing and Skelton got Burns got named, but they're talking about Blood and Skelton, who didn't get named New South Wales Cup. So neither did the other guy I was talking about. Can't for the life of me remember his name or pronounce it.
But even
So-
now, it's only 3 weeks till Faraz is back.
Yeah, I know. But if you're looking for that downgrade and then hope that Burton goes and plays centre or something, maybe at Origin, he might get a.
Over Turbo Trail.
Nah, alright. He's not getting a run. You're right. Might get 18s or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, alright. So I'm just going to ask you the question that's in the title. Great NRL sort of equals poor Supercoach. No line breaks, not many tries, not many goals. That Melbourne Manly game was sort of the telltale sign there. A lot of the Melbourne players didn't crack 50, and it was just a defensively. It was a lot more sound game. Like there was some big bell ringing hits. If anyone remembers the
encounter.
Juzzy Olam getting snapped in half, and then I think a couple of others got snapped in half. Welch got snapped in half, and someone else got snapped in half real good from Olakawatu. He was having a fine night.
He's a beast. He's having a fine season.
Like he's not translating Supercoach, but NRL wise, you wouldn't want to run at the bloke. I tell you that much for nothing. But yeah, there was a lot of games on the weekend that went by that not many high scoring Supercoach players, and that the round reflected it. If you really have a look, the Sharks, Nico only got to 80 with that last little bit of individual brilliance down the sideline, line break tries, this sort of thing. Otherwise, he wasn't cracking his 80, same as Nath.
Well, there's only 500s and only 120. All the rest of them were just over 100.
Yeah.
And then 490s, so...
It was a bludger of a weekend for Supercoach.
It was a low one.
So yeah, do you feel that translate every week, or is there some weeks where you're watching great footy and Supercoach just flows with it? Like, do you ever notice that, or are we gonna, if we want to get good quality footy, is our Supercoach going to pay, or
No, I don't think so.
eventually it's just even out? It's
No,
just a
I think
worry.
it was just a one-off week.
Well, it's a worrying thing. Like a lot of the players that we rely on, just their scoring wasn't there. Like someone I think did a recount on the Warriors game and said Charnsy's still owed about 15 points from last week. So hopefully he gets them this week. But yeah, on hit ups and shit, they were all lost. Got anything on the live there, Louis?
I have a few things. Yes, Shane Foote got 1150 this week.
Oh, footy.
Nice.
Swing it.
Adam Thomas brought in Mato and Manu this week for CNK and Ford. Reckon Manu will get his break even this week and will keep rising from there.
Yeah, well, Joey's going to be scary not own if you don't get on this week. Like you said, 30 touches a game from a bloke who
Hopefully more.
tackle,
Maybe 6.
tackle breaks and does just mad shit week in, week out. So, yeah, he's going to be a scary non-own if you don't go that way.
Yeah. Marco Escalera. I do apologize if I stuffed up your name then. Supercoach Pro has Manu averaging 101 when starting in the halves. Even if you knew Walker was back next week, would you make the trade?
Yeah, because as long as you're willing to take the cash hit, because it's going to happen if he gets put back to the centres. Like, he's not playing halves or fullback. He's definitely not the same ball runner. You know what I mean? He's not getting his enough footy to post them scores. But if you're willing to take the hit, if he does go back to centre next week, he'll be playing fullback by round 13, or 12, then 14. You know what I mean? Provided Teddy probably get a rest in amongst that too, especially if the Roosters are winning. Joey Manu continues to stay there, so
Yeah, that's it. It depends on how they play, I guess.
yeah.
So I'm happy to back him in.
Well, I'm happy to think that Sam Walker's gone at least back to Reggie's for a couple of weeks. I don't think it's a 1 week sacking.
Yeah.
He's still got a lot. Like, this is my thing with Sam Walker, and we were talking about it just like personally. He throws too much shit. He doesn't do enough good quality shit to be doing some of the stuff he does yet. You know, he's still a bit green. He doesn't take the line on as much as he probably should as well. Like, or he doesn't take it deep enough into the line to give his outside backs access to some better space. You know what I mean? So he's still got heaps to learn. And I think if we do look back to when either one of them's not playing, either Keary or Walker, the team seems to does better for it, if you know what I mean. Like, we were talking about how they're a bit same, and I think they said that on Brave and Nasser said the same thing on 360. Like, they're very much the same player, Keary and Walker, and it sort of takes away from the Teddies and your Manus and shit, you know. It seems to penalise them fellas. So I think it's going to be a couple of weeks at least for Sam Walker down there. You?
Yeah, I don't think it's 1 week thing. But who knows? If
Keary gets knocked out this week, Sam Walker back next week, you know what I mean?
Manu still stays at 6.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
yeah. And probably getting the same service as we just talked about there.
And then you know he's there for 6 weeks.
Yeah, cheering.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm happy to risk it.
Yeah, it is a good play. And you're doing it too, yeah?
I'm doing it, yeah. I'm doing it, and I'm putting the C on him as well.
Wow, that's big balls. And
If I'm bringing him in, I think he can tear him apart.
wow.
Yeah. Only 0.8. I think at lunch today, I saw only 0.8 of coaches had the C on him as of that moment. So
It's a great pod. Great pod.
if it pays off,
Yeah. Well, yeah, who they playing?
Dragons.
Dragons, yeah.
Dragons.
Like that. Well, how long we been going for there, Louis?
20 minutes.
Cool as.
Just on a side note, Danny Sackle,
Sexy.
his mum thinks we're all hotties.
Thanks, Mrs. Sackle. Thank you. Appreciate that. Wait till Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Danny, you'd want to look after your mum. I'm telling you.
And just on another side note, it's just come through about an hour ago. The Hammer has signed a 4-year extension with the Dragons.
Defence.
Dolphins.
Sorry.
I was thinking, no.
Sorry.
He chased someone with a hammer, that bloke. He's not actually called the Hammer.
Sorry, yes, the Dolphins.
There's a hammer there somewhere. The moan broadies from home. All right. I just want to ask you the question then, Supercoach fellas. Has it evolved a bit? Over the years, there's been commandments that you sort of lived by as a Supercoach. You never trade a keeper. You never do this. You never do that. There were so many variables that you had to sort of live up to be a good Supercoach. And the last 2 years especially, I've noticed that the cash change for guns has been a big talking point. Like the other week, I was sold that Teddy was me gun. I wasn't trading him for the year, and I should have that very week, I didn't use a trade. Could have went from him to Reece Walsh. By now, I'd be up 300,000 ish, or 200,000 plus 300 odd points. And it was I thought it was just a sideways trade. I didn't think much of it at the time, but now, 3 or 4 weeks into the future, I'm fucking kicking myself for not doing that trade. Those that did it, good on yous. Well done. But yeah, like, have you seen this? Have you seen the trend? Like, I know, Con, you've always sort of been on to selling people at the right sort of time. I've always sort of missed the boat with it a lot, but trading guns at the right time, like when you know they're just going to go on that slump. Like forwards is a bit harder, but backs are sort of easy. You know when their draw opens up and when their points are going to flow in. Like you just know.
You like to think so anyway.
Hey?
You'd like to think so anyway.
Well, 9 times out of 10, that's the way it goes. That's very rare that you sort of get it wrong. You might get 1 or 2 games wrong, but you still, on average, you're getting your points, that you sort of wanted. It'd only be them real special games when someone comes out to sort of blow them off the park. But yeah, it's one of them things that I'm now sort of thinking about myself. Like Brad talks about something, and we'll probably go to Brad next after this then, just because we'll segue in. Just with the way it's gone, like Harry Grant now, he's got a massive BE this week. I know there's no one really screaming out to go, but is it time to sort of look at selling your high BE players that you know are going to sort of have a buy coming? Like Grant's got a buy next week, I think, in round 9, and then goes off to Origin in round 13 or 12. So you're really looking at some limited game out of him. So it's not a bad trade. I see the vision of it, but there's others out there, like you could probably do it with Payne Haas, but who you bringing in? No one. And then are they going to lose the cash that you're expecting them to hold on to, and you won't be able to get Payne back?
I ain't trading Payne Haas out for no.
I'm just using that as an example, but like it's one of them things. Have you thought much into the game, how the game sort of evolved over the last couple of years, or you haven't really noticed it, or?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's like you said, the dual position centre wing back row pretty much doesn't exist anymore. A lot of the halves aren't dual positions anymore, so there's no real flexibility in that. What you pointed out.
Selling guns for money, like
yeah, that's it. When the price is right, sometimes you got to sell.
With the boost, I think as well. The boost has opened the game. Louis,
well, they've given us. They seem to have upped the trades year by year as well, making it a lot easier to trade out that gun.
Yeah, Louis, have you noticed much of the change since your start to now?
I think especially this year with the 17th team coming in and that buy every single week. I think trading out a gun, depending on how many buys or if they're going to Origin or what their run is, becomes a lot more viable. Like you look at Teddy. You got when did we? Oh no, sorry, I was thinking of someone else. My bad. But yeah, I mean, it's. I think with the buys coming in, it does make a big difference. Now that we've got to buy every single week, as you mentioned with Harry Grant.
Well, if you're not focused, if you're not careful, you can have 4 or 5 from one side. Like, granted, now it's a bit harder because the cheapies are sort of ripened up and we're getting rid of and move players along. But at the start of the year there, you could have had a few Roosters to start the year and you would have paid for it. Or if you started with a couple of Panthers, come round 3, you had no one. Like, if you started 4 Panthers, you were down because they hadn't made enough money to do anything. And the cheapies on offer weren't. I think we got lucky that week. Cam Pereira scored all right, but yeah, like the cheapies weren't really offering up much, so you were taking that instant hit for having extra Panthers players. Like if you started Toto, if you started, say, a lot of people started with Garner, Cleary, and Sonny Lukes and stuff like that. That gives you 5 spots you're not having for round 3, plus 2 of them were good spots. You know what I mean? Like your Toto and your Cleary, who you're expecting big scores out of. So it's instant hit if you're not onto what you're doing. Like next week I've got Melbourne, so I've got Katoa, I've got Munster, I've got Welch. There's an array of players I've got to look at who I'm holding and who I'm moving on this week, you know. Because next week I'll have 5 dudes that aren't any use to me at all, and one of them will be Harry Grant.
Yeah, I can see the thought behind trading out Harry.
Yeah, I do agree. And also another point as well with stuff that's changing. We've seen an emergence of a number of other people that could turn into guns themselves. That, over the past few years, it's mainly been, your Teddies, Turbos, Pappy, Cleary, and Grant. And then you got the emergence of people like Reece Walsh. Reece Walsh really is now coming into the picture as well. Potentially, you could almost hold him for the rest of the season. Yeah,
I'm thinking about it.
There's a good chance him, as we were saying before, might not play
You
Origin.
gonna hold him for the rest of the year, Bergs?
Don't own him, you know how I get. I don't own these good players. They slip through.
And then you got like players like Teddy who just this year aren't quite hitting that mark, as you know very well, Bergs. But yeah, Nico Hines. I think clearly Nico Hines, we can all agree, is probably the 2 must-have centre wings that everyone. Halfbacks that everyone must have. But you look at other people coming through. Sean Johnson, for example.
Shit, I didn't do the shares.
Yeah, Sean Johnson, for example, having a blinder of a season so far. Definitely could become one of those guys that may not be the top halfback, but one that if you keep, you're not getting burned.
Well, he's chugging along very nicely, man. Granted, the other 2 have caught up to him over the last couple of weeks, but
Nico's always been in front of him.
Only because he's come out for 180. He wasn't there for 6 weeks, but
yeah, I know.
So that's where SJ sort of got him, you know.
Come the end of the season, you want Nathan Nico.
Oh, 100%. If you don't,
come the end of the season, Nathan Nico will be 20 points in front of SJ.
Well, you're already suffering now. If you don't have Nathan Nico, granted, you're sort of going okay if you still have SJ. But if you brought Nico and Nathan that first week, one went 120, the other went 180 or whatever it was. Right, punching. You know, like I waited that week on expecting him to come down, and we got bit in the arse. We lost his 120 points. Granted, we got whatever Nico threw out, but people out there got both.
Yeah.
You know, and now there's still people out there that don't have both. You know,
Yep.
and yeah, you sort of think, well, how are you going to get your money? Anyway, let's segue.
It's going to be a tough one to crack down if you don't have them both.
Segue into Brad's thing. If we have.
Good evening, Supercoaches. Good evening to the crew there in the caravan of chaos. I hope everyone's coping all right without Juzzy. Big shout out to Juzzy while he's away, having a fat old time overseas. Hope you're going all right, Juzzy. And I hope all our coaches out there are doing okay, despite the many dramas that might be facing them this week. Probably the biggest drama, of course, for everybody, but the boys will speak about this no doubt, is the Manu versus Garrick conundrum. It's one that I'm facing myself. I'm not really sure which way to go yet. But a lot's been said and written about that. I'm not really going to have a chat much about that. I'm going to chat about 3 quick things for you tonight. I did put up an article with some of this in it earlier in the week. But the first one I want to talk about is this big fella, Aidan Fanua-Blake. He's going pretty good this year. He's sailing along just nicely, only 545k. He's got a break even of 37 at the moment, and he's quite lightly owned. He is hitting 50 minutes a week. We'd like to see a few more minutes out of him, but I think that might come. I think that isn't too far away. His PPM in any occasion is yet to drop below 1. So he scored above 1 PPM in every single game he has played. So essentially, you're up for around about a 60 to 70 points, safe points. He's going to play the bye round. And if he gets a few attacking stats, you're going to get more than those 60 points, which is what we're all hoping for. Yeah, he's priced right now, like I said, at 545, which is, he's not going to get any lower than that. So if you want him, you want a good front rower, say going a Stefano to him is not going to really cost you anything. And there's a few other sideways trades too, where you can, some of your cashies might have made some coin by now, and you're looking to probably get someone a bit solid to carry you through that buy period. And I suggest you have a good look at Fanua-Blake. He might be one. Let me know, boys. Tell me what you think. Now, one I wrote about is, well, this guy, Britton Nakora. Now, although he's priced out of the range of many, but this is one I wish I'd got earlier. This is one I wish I'd got at the beginning of the year. He's just insane, 744k at the moment, so he's priced right at the top end. I think his break even's around about 80 or above. It might even be getting closer to 90 now. But he's got a 75 average, playing 80 minutes every single week, so just under 1 ppm. But he's yet to go under 80 minutes in any game so far this year. So his minutes are rock solid. The coach is not going to play him unless he has to for anything under 80 minutes. There is a few attacking stats he's been getting, but he's certainly one that is on the wish list. Doesn't play the next buy, but not playing the next buy isn't everything. Don't forget, Supercoach is also about points, and we need points above anything else. So people are getting very fixated on the next buy coming up, but there are some players like Britton Nakora that we might be leaving behind or ignoring. Some elite players that are scoring the shit out of the world. Yeah, we really need to possibly not necessarily neglect these players. Okolatu is another one. A lot of people aren't going near him because they think he's going to get selected to Origin. Maybe not. I suggest you have a good look at him. He might be one to have a sneaky peek at. Now, the last little thing I want to talk about, and you boys can really put your stamp on this argument for me, because it's one that's been going around a little bit. As I said, we all know the the Manu versus Garrick argument, but there's been a lot of people doing the Cook to Jeremy Marshall-King trade. I'm not necessarily sold on this trade, and I'll run you through a few things, and it might make a few coaches think a little bit about doing this trade. If you came to me last week and said you wanted to do the trade, well, it was nearly 100,000 between the two of them, so it would have been the time to do it was last week if you were going to do it. That's my thought. Cook is worth 650k now. Jeremy Marshall-King is, what is he worth? He's worth 616. So if you sell to him, you're only making yourself around about 40,000. Yes, Jeremy Marshall-King is averaging more than Cook. Jeremy Marshall-King is averaging 68. Whereas Cookie is only averaging 62, which by Cookie standards isn't the flashiest. But do go back and have a look at some of his scores leading into Origin in previous years. He's actually gone quite well. He's not exactly the fastest starter in the world. He certainly did this last year as well. But he did slowly improve. Now, another one is a lot of people have been going Grant down to to JMK. That probably makes a little bit more sense. I think there is about 100 grand between the two of them at the moment. But Grant hasn't been going that flash either, and he does have the bye coming up in 2 rounds' time. So maybe if you did have Grant, that one might be one to consider a bit more than the Cook to Jeremy Marshall-King. However, you know, I'm not necessarily sold on this either. I think it's about 70,000 between the two. I don't have the figures right in front of me now, but again, the time for this trade would have been last week, where the price difference between the two was a bit more, but it's sort of, there is some sense, particularly with the bye coming up for the Melbourne Storm in a couple of rounds, and then they only play a few games, and then you've got Origin, so you're going to be losing Grant again there. Will Jeremy Marshall-King keep up his 68 average? Well, that was one to be seen. So what do you think, boys? Do you reckon a trade down from a Cook or a Grant is a smart move to a Marshall-King? And is it something that Supercoaches should be thinking about? Let us know what you think, people. On the join in on the socials there. Leave us a comment. Do you like the Grant down to JMK, or Cook down to JMK? Or are you thinking of just leaving Grant there to just sail along and let your reserve hooker do the work for you over the Origin period? Anyway, good luck this week. Looks like a cracking lot of games. Hopefully we're going to see more great action, which is, man, this season so far has been a cracker. There's been some absolute belters of games, and I don't think this weekend's going to be any different. So good luck, Super Coaches, and enjoy your super coaching.
All right, cheers, Brado. Another great segment from Brado. Another one. Don't forget you can find Brado on Off the Bench podcast, and he does write-ups all across Facebook, so have a look. I will work out how to get him to Twitter. I haven't really looked into it. Sorry, Brado. Grant to JMK, but it is something I have thought long and hard about this week. I think he said it nets you about 100k or thereabouts. That's upgrade money to a Joey Manu, I guess, or a Maddo from Nat Butcher, whatever way I decide to go. Nat Butcher not going to lose me no money, I suppose, and doesn't play the bye round either, so he's no good to me. But fellas, Grant to JMK, plausible, feasible?
Ideally, you wouldn't. You'd like to find another way to get JMK, but I understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Especially with the bye and an Origin coming up. And Harry hasn't been smashing it out of the park above everyone else continuously, week in, week out.
Yeah.
So, Booker's been a bit fickle this year.
It has been a shit spot, hasn't it? Like, in saying that, like, you still wanted to start with Harry because Harry still has pumped out the numbers. Like, you could have started with Marshall-King as well, but he's already had a couple of weeks off as well. So he would have lost out and needed to upgrade or cop a hit there somewhere. So he's still getting points off Harry, even though they weren't great points. So he still is soaring above the pack in that regard, but he's set to lose a lot of money from what, like, he's been up to near, what was he, at 860,000 or something the other week. He's been up there. Yeah. So it's one of them things, do we cop the hit? Like, if I look through my team now, I've copped some already decent hits of cash.
Yeah,
so
836 he was.
836, there you go. So he's already lost over 100 from that. Yeah, he's down to
699.
There you go. So he's lost a massive chunk, set to lose more. I see a world where it's not a stupid idea.
Yeah, well, I think if you're looking for consistency, I think Jeremy Marshall-King is the way to go. A couple of weeks ago, I went from Robson to Jeremy Marshall-King, and you know he's done me no wrong. He hasn't got as high a ceiling as Grant. He yeah, we know he can pump out hundreds whenever he feels like it, but I guess that's the risk you take with a position like hooker, You can go someone who's consistent, who's going to get you some good points every week in, week out. Would you go someone like Grant, who at the moment, his lowest score I can see is 31 last week against Manly.
He's got a 44 as well.
What do you go against Tigers as well? But at the same time, he's pumped at 105 against Titans.
Yeah.
Do you take that risk?
You do.
You do.
What's working in Jeremy Marshall King's favour is his team slowly coming back too. Like Felice will be back, I think, next week, if not this week.
This week.
Is it this week? There you go. So, I like Jeremy Marshall King. For me personally, I don't know if I do the trade just because I would like to. Harry Grant's potential, has me a bit worried on Jeremy Marshall
He's the wizard.
King. So, look, last week, JMK easily showed up Harry Grant, but I think the whole Storm team as a whole sort of got shown up. So,
Well, it just wasn't a Supercoach friendly game, really.
no, I expect a bounce back this week from Melbourne, even though it's against, I think, the Warriors. Don't know if I'd play Warbrick this week, owners. But yeah, told you to get a try last week, but didn't I? Yeah, cheering. Also, just so move on from the Grant JMK thing. Just on Brado's other things he was chatting about, AFB. He's chugging along under the radar a little bit over there at the Warriors. Got a PPM of 1, so it's just going to come down to minutes for AFB. And so once, hopefully, a couple more minutes come for him, better things come.
Yeah, well, he's at the moment he's averaging PPM of 1.22, which is pretty good, pretty good. Scored 2 tries in that. The lowest score he's had is a 38 in 52 minutes against the Sharks. So there was one that was a bit down there. And then his other lowest was first round, 46 minutes. He got 47 points against the Knights. But besides that, he's been chugging along. He's got both times they've played Cowboys. He scored 79 and 67. Scored a try against Roosters. Scored a 79. Last 3 scores. Sharks 38 and 52 minutes. Newcastle 52 and 51, and Cowboys 79 in 45 with a try.
Not exactly jumping off the page at you.
Break even of 33 at 545.
Would you take the punt on a TPJ over him? He plays the bye round, but 2 AFB.
I'd like to see TPJ first. After it took him, he was meant to be back round 2 originally.
Yeah. Took him a while to come
round
back.
8 now.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of pent up energy. He could be suspended for a month.
Well, you know what? He come out. He played pretty decently. In a beaten side the other day. Good offloads. Some how he gets his offloads. Some of them miracle ones, man. They were fucking great to watch. But yeah, I seen Whisper that jump straight on, and I thought, this could go either way. He could get a 10 or he could get 100, but he chugged along at 50, which isn't bad. And I just see him getting more and more minutes as time progresses, coming back from his injury. So
yeah, definitely.
It'd be a punt. It'd be a punt to jump on early. I don't have the cash to do it, but yeah. And Britton Nakora, he's one that got away from everyone, I think. With SJ, not SJ, with Hines not starting, I didn't even give him a second thought.
Yeah.
To be brutally honest, I just thought, Trindle's not the player Nico was, but he still put him through them gaps, and he runs them great lines, Nakora, to his credit.
When he burst onto the scene, he was running great lines, and then he had that
centre wing
4-down year, and then he come back again, and
there was your second row centre wing.
Booming.
Do you remember? You could stack him.
Yeah.
And it was if you remember that first year he did come, if you hung on for them last 5 games at Cruiljay. He was a sell with a couple of weeks to go, old Nakora. But yeah, anyway, I remember because it got me.
Well, no, he's still only 3.5% owned. So the vast majority of us, all miss that.
Yeah, he's one that got away, and now you're paying out your ass to get him. All right.
Do you pay out your ass to get him?
If you know what, in a perfect world, if I'm fully set everywhere else, yeah, for sure.
Would you find the extra cash to go him over Maddo?
Personally, not for me. He's at 744, has a break even of 91. So if you are going to go him, I'd probably hold off a week. Maddo's on 701, I think Madison is. Has a break even of 49. 709, sorry, with a break even of 49. So I'd rather get Maddo in this week, and then look at getting Nakora in next, or depending how it goes, possibly the week after.
Well, the thing in Maddo's favour is he's a around 13 buy player, so that helps his cause and getting into my side faster than Nakora. But yeah, perfect. If you had a perfect team set, I'd definitely chase the Nakora, especially if he's that lowly owned at less than 5%. Like that's pod, mate.
Yeah.
You know, and if he's getting
with Nico playing,
and he's getting these mad scores, man, like you sort of, if you can do it, do it. But it's a luxury. You got any live ones there, Louis? Or?
Got a few. Hold on, give me 1 sec. Dave Whiteley. I need a centre wing around 560k. Is Sivo a good enough choice, or who do you think?
Oh, just Paris run like? It's not bad, is it? I know in the bye they got the Cowboys. So
Sivo, they have Broncos, Newcastle, Gold Coast, Raiders, Souths, Cowboys in the bye.
Oh, it's
in their first bye.
It's a hit and miss sort of draw for Sivo. He doesn't have the base work. He needs them tries to be relevant. You know.
Well, I mean, talking about base for him, he's got the past 2 games he's had 18 in base, and against the Roosters 20.
It's poor base.
Somebody's brought him up 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and he scored tries every week since. I think it was either Nick Heffernan or Footy, even.
But even then, it still hasn't been great, has it?
Oh, he got 60-something last week. I think
that was a double.
I think he's cheering. We told him not to catch. Anyway. But yeah. Look, for me, Sivo's he's a personal preference and someone that you'd play on matchups. Like, you wouldn't sit him there as a bloke that's going to play every one of those games that Louis just mentioned, and he's going to hit in every single one, you know? He's definitely only a play for probably 3 of those games out of the 6.
Yeah, and at that price, I think, would you do something like, I know, Tupou from the Tigers?
Boom, on my list.
On your list.
On my list, right?
Tupou on the Tigers, 436, I think he is this week.
Yeah.
Negative break even. Would you go down to him, bank the cash, and then push up to get someone better the following?
Look, I like that Tupou, Junior Tupou from the Tigers. Granted, he's only had 1 real decent game. But if you actually watch that game, he got busy. I think he grew an inch as the game went on too. Like, he was bulldozing dudes and he was having fun, you know. So I think that was a turning point for him as a footballer. Like, I think he realised what he could do that day. And granted, he's had a bye since then, and we don't know if they're going to come out with that same win mentality. But I liked what I seen from him in a Tiger squad, you know.
Yeah.
So
that's the only down point. in the Tigers squad.
Well, they
Tigers-
give
Tigers
up.
stink.
They've already give up, in my opinion. They
Yeah,
give up.
they
Like
just-
they're not a team that's. You know what? The other week, they probably should have won that game against us, and they probably should have won that game against Para. You know, it's the fact that it was the Tigers that it got away from them, man. Like somehow we, as the Dogs, now we're not renowned for clawing our way out of a hole like that either.
yeah.
But the Tigers are well less renowned for doing it than we are. And they had that game in the bag. Not in the bag, but they had the momentum coming home, and then it was an error or something shit penalty that gives them the game. And then against Para last time they played, Charlie Staines drops that ball and
Drop
just
out.
killed the momentum that they'd built. They were on the come home. You know, they were, granted, don't know if they would have produced anything out of that set of 6, but they definitely had the win behind them. And that was a game I felt that they really needed to win as a club, and they didn't. And now, where do they go from here? You know, like they're still 6-0, man, 6 and a bye. So it's a big
And,
ask.
and even the bye, they only just won by a golden point.
Fuck it, I don't know, mate. All right, there's got to be an investigation. I guarantee there were errors at Tiger Town on the weekend. All right. So, any more live on there? Or
Yeah, yeah.
should I?
Walker and Khan for Manu and Garrick. Thoughts?
Walker and Khan for Manu and Garrick.
What Walker?
I'm guessing Sam Walker.
assuming-
for Jules or something.
I'm assuming Sam. Lloyd Clark, if you're on there, please let us know.
Lloyd will be watching. He'll let you know in a sec.
Cade Burgess. Is it worth going to Ruva to Junior Tupou, who we were just talking about, to get some quick cash and then upgrade to Garrick in a week or two?
Yeah. If Tupou goes the way he goes, you might even end up looking to move someone else along before
Or
him.
when Tupou peaks.
Yeah.
You gotta go somewhere with all these centre wing cheapies that are peaking, so might as well take a gamble.
He's not cheap. That's me thing with him. I think he's already 400,000.
Oh,
It's not like he's a bottom dollar guy. He's
I was
expensive
thinking
already.
low threes, hopefully.
Yeah. So
436, I think he is. Yeah.
yeah. So he's that awkwardly priced, but
Yeah.
on potential, he looked good. You know, I'd like maybe see another game out. of
Yeah,
him.
on potential, True looks good, and he's in a much better team.
Yeah, he scored 2 tries and got a 60 the other week too, which was disappointing. No line breaks in him, I don't think, but so yeah. Got any more?
Yep. One more. Mark Vowsy.
Bowsy.
G'day, you fucking legends.
Bowsy.
How do you lads feel about Matto for the run home? Or reckon he'll be named 18th man for Origin?
I think he's safe. I think he's out of Origin.
Yeah.
That's me personally. I don't think he gets Origin berth. I don't know why I say that, because he's good.
So I think he will. I have a feeling he will.
Over who?
See, well, Murray will
Angus.
play one edge. Gus
Yeah.
is back this week. He's got 6 weeks to cement his spot.
Yeah, which you no doubt will.
Olakawatu's got to be mentioned, surely.
Yeah.
Kolomatangi?
Well,
He's
he's
injured.
hurt himself 6 to 8 weeks, so
That's what I'm saying.
will he miss game 1? But Matto
I
can play
reckon it-
middle.
I reckon he will. I reckon South will say, we're not rushing you back just for Origin. Yeah.
No,
Well,
definitely not.
Well, my thing is, like, I know Origin's a different beast and whatnot else, but if we as New South Wales decide to go with the Payne Haas, Jake Travojevic front row, that's massive minute front row. Both give you massive minutes if you want them. Back row of Yo, Murray, and probably Crichton all give you massive minutes if you want them. You could probably afford to stack that a little bit more heavily.
Liam
if,
Martin's in the mix too.
Yeah, he'll definitely get a bench spot, if not a starting spot. So yeah, there's a few big minute players, if you know what I mean, going there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking impact off the bench. Might getting ball playing skills into it
Yeah.
later in the halves.
Yeah, I don't know. I think,
He's definitely good enough to be there.
he's
Oh, yeah.
definitely good enough to be, especially watching his Parramatta off the bench form last year, come off the bench and done magic shit for him last year, if you remember. Coming in at lock, played well, but don't know. To be honest, you never know what way Freddie's going. But
Freddie
yeah,
doesn't know which way he's going most of the time, I think.
I think he's a safe bet for the year. If you want to lock him away,
Yeah, 100%.
bar an injury, mate, he's
Yeah.
yours for the year. Vowsy,
That's the only risk. Like you mentioned earlier, one head knock, and it's not a week.
Nah, it's not.
You're looking at least a month.
Yeah, he's had fucking heaps of concussions.
Yeah.
One every year since
And they're doozies too.
coming to grade. So yeah, it's his only real worry is longevity.
Also, Lloyd Clark on that.
Fucking new Lloyd to get back.
Walker, Carnful, Manu, and Garrick. He was talking about Cody.
Cody, fuck.
Nah. Why are you selling Cody for?
They got the hard run. Now they got a 3 or 4 game tough run now, Souths.
Yeah,
Mm.
too.
We got we got Penrith this week. Broncos next, I think, and then we got the Storm.
Yeah, it's a bit,
He's a
shit.
doozy.
bit of shit run for Codes.
Yeah.
I see the merit in it. But he's that guy. He's not fixture proof, but he's that guy that
How are you doing it, Lloyd?
through Jules. Obviously Schuster or something. Bring Schuster down to 5'8" for something like that, I'd say. And then just
Yeah.
through your Jules, you know.
And then centre wing up, yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
South have Penrith, Broncos, Melbourne, but then, however, we have Tigers, Para, Raiders, Titans, Dragon, then outBye. So any of those weeks, you think about it, he could go big on any of those weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has been the focal point of the attack. Him and Trell have been working well. I'm going to back him in personally. I've got him. I'm going to keep him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you think of Lloyd's trades, but
I like him. Getting Garrick and Manu in.
yeah.
I feel you can wait a week and give Cody one more week and maybe let one of those two drop, hopefully.
Well, who's got the tougher matchup? Neither. You just probably have to hope Garrick only gets 2 tries instead of 3. Yeah. Yeah, so you want to...
Cody's break even's -4.
Oh, yeah. So he's
So
going
he's still
up.
going to earn all.
He's going up.
Yeah.
Mm.
He's got a good chunk of money to make.
You want to pull up the wrap up from Adrian, and I'll just quickly ask you a couple of these players bring out. These players I've seen on the most traded in, I think. Joey Manu, highly traded in by the top 1 and 5%. Ruben Garrick, another one. Hayes Dunster. Now I fucking don't understand that one at all unless it's a cash grab.
I'm waiting and seeing, but
He's an AE nightmare, bro. He got a 7 the other week.
if you're going to go on that price, mate, I'll go Jared Croker, put out 2 scores of 40.
Yeah,
At least he's not going to break even of, I think, 6. At least he's not going to cost you be an AE nightmare like Dunster definitely could be.
yeah. No, I don't mind that actually.
Then he has the kicking as well.
Do they have the bye this week though? Canberra?
That's a good question.
Yeah, they do.
They do. So
Yeah, Tuffney.
so Croker wouldn't be playing this week. It's probably why people are looking at Dunster. But on potential, you might want to hold on to Croker. They played the bye round. If he's still there, that is, if he's still playing. But yeah, he's 234k. He's done nothing and got 40, so it's not a bad shout actually, Louis. Maddo, highly brought in this week. Schuster's another one who's highly brought in this week. He's actually named to play, but I'm scared I'm bringing in Schuster. He's fucking base and power and shit's terrible, isn't it?
I have him in my team already. If I didn't, I wouldn't bring him in.
Yeah.
No. See, there you go. Louis an owner. He's
I'm
telling
worried
you
about him.
get out. And then Tupu, Junior Tupu, we're talking about and that's just off that one. I'll be honest, I haven't watched him closely, and I don't know how many actual games he's played, but watching him the other week, fuck, he was really good. He was probably the best on the ground for the Tigers, in my opinion. And then Jacob Host, he looks like he's got that edge spot for a little bit. I know he's not setting the world on fire, but as these games get a bit harder, it tends to benefit the forwards a bit more. So this 3 weeks, you could see Jacob Host have to do a bit more work, which might get him a few increases, if you catch me.
Yeah.
It's only a might. I wouldn't say he's definitely going to set the world on fire, but in a world where it's a tougher game, you do see your forwards have to work a bit harder. So
Yeah.
I assume he's in for a good couple of weeks, in my opinion, over there, especially if you can maintain the minutes. Louis, heard anything on the minutes of Host?
Nothing at the moment.
Looks
but
like they're
I mean,
his,
given Kolomatangi, Host hasn't been. He's been chugging along nicely, you know. But given Kolomatangi is out for 6 to 8 weeks.
Who took that Cheekham? Did Cheekham take that spot, or has Cheekham gone the other side? Reckon Cheekham will go on the other side and Host will go where Kolomatangi was?
Well, I think I was going to say Jai Arrow, but I think he's been named at prop this week.
Yeah, he's. I've looked at Jai Arrow at prop. If we remember, he's better in the middle.
I was actually about to mention Jai Arrow as a possible guy you could get in as well. I know his break even's a bit up there this week, but I mean he did well for his first game back.
Bro, when he was at the Titans, he was a weapon man. You know, I don't know what happened to him, but he's got it in him. It's in there somewhere. And 9 out of 10 players generally get a bit better as they get older. He seemed to regress, Supercoach wise. I don't know how he's doing on the field, like as for the team, but Supercoach wise, he's regressed over the years. Jai Arrow, you were never really big on him, but
No, when he was at the Titans, he was good. He was pretty much their only forward. He was doing everything.
yeah.
And since he's been to South, he's definitely taken a step back.
Could the front row be the spot for him? But he seems
It just depends on his minutes, I think.
well, he's back in the middle like that. Only reason he went in the middle is Cam Murray so good. Back in the middle is probably not. He likes it in there. He likes the.
Yeah, if you can get 55, 60 minutes, yeah, good.
He's got an offload.
He's going to punch out 45 to 50 at prop.
He punched out
Not
at
so
75 last week. Don't think he scored a try, did he?
No. So I was just about to say, 61 minutes he played, punch out to 75. 59 of that was base.
He had a rib snorter of a game, man. And for me, like he's sort of done it. I know he's got injury worries, but yeah, he looked really good for me at prop. In a good world, you could have him there at prop for the year.
Yeah, came back strong.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got the
Got the write-up.
wrap up.
Yep. Got the weekly wrap-up. Here we go. So, week 7 kicked off with a classic apprentice v mentor game. Bennett v Demetrio. Early on, it looked like the wily old one still had some knowledge left to impart as the Broncos had an off day today. As the Dolphins scooted away to lead 14-6. But then the young with superior talent prevailed with 30 unanswered points, with Bennett's favourite Cody Walker sticking the knife in what was a blinder of a game. Hyped up as a Battle of Brookvale reimagined, and boy did it not disappoint. The tone was set early when Olam the shit brick house himself was crunched by Aloye and Olukwatu.
Fucking wanted to hit though, like
Wasn't it what?
bro.
That got absolutely pummeled.
Right.
Saying that, it did take 2 forwards to put a shot on Olam though.
I'll tell you what though, Juzzy, I don't think he's ever been hit like that in his whole career.
He didn't know what to fuck.
Even playing in Papua New Guinea where they just fucking smash the fuck out of each other, man.
They're
Like,
tough.
Ah, bro, I love
It's,
watching the Kummels play, man. Even
yeah.
though there's no real like class about them, I fucking love watching them bash.
Each tackle, almost pretty much each tackle they look to put a shot on.
Yeah.
Each and every tackle.
They're the best.
It's a hard
Even their
game.
chicks, man. Their chicks do the same. Their chicks are out there trying to smash people too. Like, it's great.
Yeah, it is.
Go Kummel football.
I do like their brand of football.
What ensued was a brutal encounter with 3 sin bins and plenty of off the ball hits. Terrific stuff from the 2 favourite teams he hates. Love watching DCE and Munster getting smashed. Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
It depends what time of year.
Depends what time of year.
Yeah, at Origin time, I don't like seeing them get smashed.
I do.
Oh,
Take the long neck.
all
DCE
year
you
round.
can, but leave Munster alone.
The game itself was okay, but who was watching the footy, really? Hines put forward more evidence in the case for the Blues number 6, as ill discipline continues to be the bane of the Roosters. Was a very defensive game, for most of the game, until Nico Hines exploded in that second half. Actually saw a question. Actually, I'll come back to that. Later. I'll continue. The other Walker starred as the Warriors continued its mission to keep alive league in New Zealand. What's his name of the coach?
Webster.
Webster. He's transformed that side, hasn't he?
Fucking
Really?
oi, hasn't
Big
he?
time.
Like, he has put steel into him, man. Like, there's steel in him. Like, normally you can, I don't know, you can mentally outplay a Warriors side, I guess. In years gone by, you just quickly rush some points on and they sort of like, they collapse. They don't really handle it well, but this team sort of just thinks, oh, we got this, we can score points or we can defend it. And they haven't looked shit yet. Like, really, they've looked like a side that's got better and better and better every week
Yeah.
since the season started. And I think you'll find Nathan Cleary said last year at the end of the season that he was probably one of the bigger losses for the club going forward was Andrew Webster, more so than Serraldo and shit. So, was that you telling me that?
No.
No, someone was telling me that. But yeah,
That's the first I've heard of that.
no, yeah, supposedly Cleary come out and had said
I've heard that he was the unsung hero behind the scenes.
he was very underrated and
Yeah, well,
gone.
he didn't get the profile that Raldo did, that's for sure.
what's going on to show in leaps and bounds what he's done over there with a side that's been a bit of a basket case for years. Like, they've always had good potential, but no one's ever got the best out of
Well,
them.
when you compare it to what Serraldo's done with a pretty decent roster over at Belmore.
To our credit, we're struggling with injuries and shit.
That is true. That's fair.
But in saying that, we still don't have a fullback, like a proper fullback, and we still haven't signed one. We've got Crichton going there, but
I think Duffy's still floating around.
no, he's gone. He's in England, thanks. But yeah, like we might have a okay roster, but if you look at their roster, it's not shit.
No.
Like, the Warriors roster's a good roster. You know, bringing Chansey back was a good move from the club, I think.
SJ.
Fanua Blake. Like, there's some guys there, and Tohu Harris is fucking unsung hero every week. We talk about Tohu every year, and no one jumps on till it's too late. But he goes so unnoticed, and he's such a hero of the side. And then Jazz Tavanga, he does his own shit too, man. I've got Jazz in the draft, and Jazz has been chugging along very nicely for me. Let me tell you that now, you know. So yeah, it's one of them things. I like the Warriors and where they're at.
Yeah, definitely. Very impressed with Webster.
Yeah.
Next game, the Panthers. How good are they? The Knights stuck it to them and looked like the points were theirs as Gamble kicked a 77th minute field goal. But no, that man Cleary iced one to force extra time, and well, the rest is history. Still, 2 out of 4 FGs is an average outing for the money man. And Reid Money lacked his usual composure as the blue and gold army welcomed him back with everything but open arms, booing his every touch and rejoicing his every mistake.
And there were a lot of them.
He was
Ooh,
garbage, mate. They got under his skin hard.
Yep.
He wasn't, and you know what? They know he's not fast out of dummy half in that one direction. So every time he went that way, the hands were all over him, man. You know, and yeah, that's the joys of playing your old club, I guess. Like everyone knows everything about you, but fuck, he got exposed so hard, and
He let him get to him, yeah.
And now for the rest of the year, clubs are going to be into it, doing exactly what Para showed him how to do, and that's something he's going to have to fix in his game, and we're going to struggle some more. Like,
Yep.
you know, hard. It was the back of some of the shit that he was doing and giving away stupid penalties.
On back of the errors that he's just made.
Yeah, and it's like, come on, mate. Like at that point, he should have got hooked. He shouldn't have got moved to halfback. Like everyone's going, oh, Flano got hooked from halfback. I think if I read Marty got hooked out of hooker, mate. Like that's what actually happened. Like Reid Marnie was getting exposed in there. Like every time he went to throw off the ball, bang, hand in there, not touching the ball, just slap him in the arm, that's his fucking problem, you know? The defender's entitled to do that as long as they don't hit the ball. So yeah, we got a lot of work to do.
They played him well.
Very well.
Regan Campbell-Gillard and Paulo laid the platform against the hapless Bulldogs with their ever-expanding injury list. Do I feel sorry? No, not one iota. Okay, maybe a smudging for Bergs. On second thought, fuck it. With Manly and Melbourne bashing each other, I'm a happy camper. And that is this week's wrap-up.
Cheers, Adrian. Windsor Chinese, if anyone's in the area, go and try yourself our gay time ice cream ball. They're shit hot. We're getting there one week. We'll get there, Ado, I swear, bro.
So just one thing.
Thank you for that, Ado.
One thing that was touched on in that wrap-up, and Cade Burgess has actually made a comment about it. A bit Supercoach off topic, but would you pick Luai or Hines at 5'8" for New South Wales?
Personally, I'd pick Nico Hines any day of the week.
I'm with you on that.
Just on form. Yeah, you're a Queenslander. You're a vlog. You're not doing much better with the team.
For my team, I am. Surely you got to pick Nico, man. He's last year and then what he's done this year so far since he's been back. As long as he keeps that up, he's fucking Naif's lucky to keep his 7 jersey, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, this season is a prime example of you're seeing what Luai is without a big kick out running off his hip. There's not much that's coming out of him.
Well, his creativity's a bit down. Confidence, I think, is lacking a bit for him. Not having a big kick out there to do his dirty work when him come in and do his fucking little niggle and shit, you know what I mean? Nico, on the other hand, if you look back at Nico's career, Nico came through at Melbourne, didn't look out of place in the Melbourne team, if not made it look a bit better while he was there.
Be cool, mate.
What? I'm not saying he made it better than when Pappenhausen's there. I'm just saying he made it look...
You pretty much said?
No. Like the feeling, like he's done better than Nick Meaney ever did. And
Nick Meaney's going alright.
Yeah, he's going alright, but he's not doing what
Nico was at
did,
next level, though.
you know.
Yeah.
Then Nico's gone to a club where every single podcast and every single commentator just about said, oh, he's going to go to the Sharks and it's going to be a bit hard for him being a 7 at a new club, transitioning from fullback. Done it with fucking ease, you know what I mean? He did. At Melbourne, I think if you really look deep enough, he didn't always solely play at fullback. He transitioned into the halves a couple of times, done okay there. And for me, Nico doesn't need a 6 or a 7. I think he just does Nico shit, you know, and he's just everywhere you sort of need him to be, which is... And the other thing that fucking makes me want to get Nico, he said something in the papers today, actually, is he fucking hates Queensland. Right? No, you want 7, you want 18. I want my 18th man fucking out there hating the fuckers too, man. I don't want him to be. I know that everyone's
Well, our water boys hate you.
Oh, yeah, good. Everyone should hate everyone. Like, you should be going out there fucking hating people. And
That poor Gallon, I'm going to rip your head off of the opposition type attitude.
that's Origin, mate. That's Origin, and I think for a long time we haven't had that. Like you say, we don't get Origin or whatever, but that's a big step in the right direction if you've got a bloke standing there saying, I fucking hate Queensland, I hate the jersey, I hate the place, rah, rah, rah. Don't mind it every other time of the year, but fucking hate it during these fucking 12 weeks, you know, and kudos to him, man. You got to remember he played a lot of his footy in Q Cup. He didn't get recognised in New South Wales. He got recognised Q Cup brought down to Melbourne. So he's lived Queensland, poor bastard. He hated it, you know. He hated being there.
Bullshit.
Putrid.
That's his ideal
He's
lifestyle.
fucking still. What, you had to give him $1 million a year just to wash the filth off him down there at the Sharks.
I mean, think about it from the New South Wales team's perspective. Imagine you got Nathan Cleary controlling one side of one half of the team, Nico Hines the other.
Is that too many chefs in the kitchen?
Nah, because
No,
I think you'll
no.
find.
Then you got Isaiah Yo doing what Isaiah Yo does.
Yeah, you can just fucking bench him for Murray. For a bit.
Damien Cook trying to explode out of there doing what Damien Cook does, which goes against what Nico and Nath on early ball.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. I like
All the
Nico's.
best.
Even if Nico's a 14,
All you got to do is pretty much get the ball to your centres and let them go.
yeah, give them a little bit. They only need a little bit, mate. They don't need much more. We're lucky in that department. But yeah. All right, you got any more live ones there? I'll go on to some. We'll go.
You can do yours first, that's fine.
All right, Teddy Woods. Hello, team. Big Ted.
Big Ted.
Just a few questions. Is it too early to nuff? Gents, you've contemplated it today.
I'm contemplating it at the moment, but I don't want to. I think it might be a bit too early, but there's just nothing available.
I think it depends on where your team is, really. If the trades that you're looking to do, if you're looking to bring in a gun.
Well, I'm looking to get him Maddo.
What sort of
But
person
I'd
are you
also be
looking
boosting.
to bring in as enough? Are you going to try to...
I'd be enough now centre wing.
Yeah, but are you going to try to Nostradamus it and bring in someone that might get a few games over the bye rounds, or are you just going to flat out nuff it so you can have that nuff for the year? Like your Jared Anderson from the Dogs of years gone by.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Don't know the nuff you go for yet?
Yeah, nah. That's
Alright.
why. That's another reason why I'm torn.
Yeah. All right. I think it's too early yet, Teddy, unless it's a dual enough that might get a run, is what I'm looking at. I wouldn't look to nuff completely out, just in case, because it's an injury. It's an injury-fickle game, man. Yeah. And then, is Joey Manu the golden ticket?
Well, if
The
you were
Wonka
going to nuff,
golden-
what position would you nuff?
Centre wing or second row. Maybe one of the spots in the second row. Probably not, though, because I've already got enough sitting there in Johns who got not playing, you know what I mean? So, all right. Is Joey Manu the golden ticket from Willy Wonka this week?
I'm hoping so.
Potentially,
Very
yes.
close to
I'm going to
it.
say potentially, yes, Teddy. It depends on where the Roosters are at. They've been a bit clunky of late, you know. So it might take a couple of weeks for Joey to find his feet in at 6, but I still expect him to have massive hit-ups and tackle breaks and offloads and shit.
I'm
so
backing him in.
I still expect him to do well.
To be honest, I've got the C on him, so I'm hoping he's a golden ticket. Please be the golden ticket.
Oh, shit. All right. How deep will the Tigers fall in the hole?
How much further can they fall?
I think they can. I don't think they can get a win all year. I think that's how low they can go, man.
I think they might get one, but that'll be it.
Who against? Who against? Who are they going to beat? The Rabbitohs?
Whoever has an absolutely shit house
Probably
game.
the fucking Knights.
Yeah, I don't know who they get a win against at
Para.
the moment. Yeah. And will Juzzy get a tie rip start?
Yep.
Well, he hasn't made it tonight because he's getting re-stitched or something. No. Sorry,
Hey,
Beck.
Juzzy.
Brad Smith. Every trade I made, Every trade I make is made with the buys in mind. That being said, I am looking at bringing in Ola. Who could well be this week? Ola Kawatu. I don't think he gets Origin this year. He might get a bench spot, but I don't think he does personally. You said he might.
No, I think he'll be in the conversation.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't.
Well,
I
he
want him
does
playing Origin.
He plays the bye round, so it is a good shout. In saying that, he hasn't been setting the world on fire, Brad, either. He's been doing okay.
No, I'm looking at his stats now, and like he's got a 52 against the Bulldogs in 80.
Yeah.
Para 60 in 8. Oh, this is all again. He's all played 80 minutes. So Para he scored 60. South he scored 71. 74 against Newcastle. Both of those are with a try. The Para, the 60 points with 2 tries. And
no line breaks, but.
And then Penrith and Melbourne, you both got a 51 and 54. So not the biggest.
He is
not
an
really setting the
attacker.
world on fire.
We do know he's an attack and stat heavy player, but he gets them attacking stats a lot. Like he definitely gets line breaks and offloads and shit. He is missing his centre wing partner, but like in Cooler and Tuipulotu, so that confidence would be a bit on throwing them balls would be a little bit down as well, you know, not having them guys that you've trained all year with. So I don't know, I like him. I do like him. Had him all year last year, and I loved having him all year last year. Yep, had them 50 games in him, but very rarely.
If that's the worst he's going to do, it's not horrible.
Yeah, he's worthy shout. He is a worthy shout. Best attacking thing they got over there.
Yeah.
Saxy, thoughts on this one? Also,
Except for Tom Turbo.
Yeah, Turbo. Saxy, thoughts on this one? Also, why does Louis look like a 30-year-old single mum who's ready to settle down? Louis, I'll let you answer that one.
No comment.
It's all for Saxy. He's from Melbourne. He's ready to settle down too, don't you? So he's bringing in Howarth, Madison, and Garrick. So there's that centre wing second row duel that we're talking about. Howarth could get a run through the Origin period too. But he's brought in Madison and Garrick, which is power moves, for the cost of Preston, Nat Butcher, and Hayes Perham. I think Hayes Perham's got to go. I'm with you on that one this week. Saxy's got a BE of 100.
Well, apart from Munster and Grant, who's playing Origin for the Storm?
Welch will probably play.
Yeah.
Don't know who else.
I can't think of anyone else.
Harry Grant.
Yeah, Munster, Grant.
Xavier
Welch.
Coates.
Xavier Coates
No, I
might.
don't think so.
Know. Don't think he does enough for me. But do you like them trades from Saxy bringing in Howarth, Maddo and Garrick for Preston, Butcher and Perham?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Must have some cash bank.
He must. Kez J. Austin, he's coming 5,000th, scored a 1083 last week. I just asked, can you guys have a look at my team during the podcast and discuss what my next move should be? He has a starting hooker of Harry Grant and Egan, Haas Gilbert, Paulo, Isaac Fasuma Ale, Deefy, Katoa, Hoskins, Preston, Ford, Couchman. Into Nathan Cleary, SJ, Burton, Katoa, Marju, Holmes, Chansey, Taruva, AKP, Warbrick, Croker, Mitchell Walsh. I think you got to upgrade Taruva.
Or downgrade Taruva and upgrade SJ and get Hines.
Yeah.
Get Nico.
Or even get rid of Wade Egan.
For who?
I don't know. He's got 480k before doing any trades. He's already done one trade. I'd boost as well, bro. You got 4 boosts there.
Well, if you can go Wade Egan, do a Jeremy Marshall King or Harry Grant if you want.
He's got Harry, so
And
Wade Egan.
And get Hines as well.
Yeah, you've got the cash there to do it. Do it, Kaz. Dan Nickel, morning lads. Tossing between Guffo and Teddy. Guffo's solid average is 67 by coverage versus 200 30k cheaper Teddy than starting price. Surely he hits form soon. I have to agree. I'm on the Teddy train this week. I'm even thinking about captaining him. I know it's ballsy, but yeah, I think if I bring him in, I brought him in on thinking that he's going to go well, so I might as well. I fucked up with Nico and not did it that week, so I'm going to do it with Teddy for sure if I do it. So I might have just broke him down. Guffo,
Everyone, don't get Teddy now.
Guffo though, he's solid. He'll definitely play the bye round against the Cowboys, who'll be undermanned with at least no Val Holmes. So yeah, I don't mind Guffo. He's just 230k dearer than Teddy.
I want to see how Teddy goes with Manu at 6. See how it all works.
Yeah. Yes, Ted's give him an answer. I'll let that one slide through to the keeper. TPG, RCG or AFB worth getting from Dale James. What would be your order there? Brad's all over AFB. We had a chat about him earlier.
Yeah.
I like TPJ. I think he'll get better as weeks go on.
The high potentials with TPJ.
Yeah. Pull the trigger on TPJ, Dale. Fuck it, mate. You only live once. If it goes wrong, you can blame me next week. Michael Mizzy, Sivo, Katoa or Penasini? I like Penasini, I'll be honest.
One of my drafts I have done this week for trades, one of them was actually getting in Penasini for Karaz. I mean, he goes well. He goes well.
He's
He
a
gets
beast,
points.
man. He goes very underrated, Penasini, I feel like. You hear all this shit, Joseph Suwali. Old mate's just the same age. He does the same shit. You know what I mean? He's pretty good, Penasini. I don't mind him.
And
So for me, I'm on Penasini out of all them.
he averages about 40 in break even, which is pretty good for a centre wing, which is what you want. And
Katoa and Sivo. Katoa from the Sharks, I'd assume.
yeah, I'm probably on Penasini. Break even at 13 this week.
Not a massive fan of any. I'd probably go Talbot just because of the Nico factor.
No, doesn't play the bye, but
Not too worried.
all
I
right,
think he's got a much higher ceiling.
you keep that mic up. Kevin Mulhern. Why am I shit Supercoach? Well, Kev, I'm on the same boat, so I just want to hear what these boys have got to say.
You're listening to us, bud, so there's probably a bit of your problem.
Yeah, well, as long as he's not doing what we're telling him, he's all right. So the rest of you just ask questions. Don't worry about what I just said to Kev. But yeah, no, I think it's, you know what, it's a year by year thing, Kev. Like, you can't be good every year. If you notice, we've noticed with just doing the podcast, some people are up there some years and they're fucking 30,000 for the whole year, the next two, and then up there again the following year. It's just a matter of picking it from the start, and like we talked about last week, injuries and suspensions, and they're flowing in a lot thicker and faster than ever before, the suspensions and shit like that. So it's getting harder and harder to do. Like I said at the start of the year, this year, the less you knew last year, the better off you were, and I feel the same sort of thing this year as well. If you didn't go in so gun heavy, you would have come out a bit more on top. Like if you went in with your Rizarkos and your fucking hammers and your shit like that to start the year off, gee, you would have been flying along. Like their points were coming good.
Yeah, definitely.
Dane Greyregger. Dane, should I trade Trell to Teddy with South's 3 tough games coming up? Frees up 230k.
No.
Yeah, Trell's a freak of nature. I have to say he's not fixture proof, but he's definitely, whenever Trell wants to have a go day, he definitely
He usually has to go against the good teams.
And you can guarantee the any points that come from South in those 3 games, you can almost put money on it that it will come through him.
He'll have a hand in it there somewhere. I do see the upside of 230k banking, but what happens? And this is my biggest fear. What happens if Teddy does just chug along at 45, 50s for the rest of the year, and you'll never be able to get Trell back because Teddy's just not gonna produce.
Yeah, hoping.
You know, it's a massive gamble. But if you're feeling it, because I'm feeling it too. Like I said, if I bring him in, I'm captaining him. So
Well, I just don't understand where he's getting signs from that he's all of a sudden going to explode. Like what he's shown you over the last couple of weeks that shit's just going to change this week.
I don't know. I drink. Nah.
I think he's just panicking that he's missed Reece Walsh.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to find a quick fix to get a quick boost up to Reece Walsh, and you're just hoping Teddy's going to do Teddy of old things and get you to Reece Walsh as quickly as possible.
That's exactly what I'm hoping. And I hope that I'm right. Like, you should hope that for your friend too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, here I am, just trying to Supercoach and that and be cool, and you fucking crushing my dreams.
I mean, Latrell has a break even this week of -21.
Fuck.
Yeah,
He's still going to earn cash.
so
Yeah,
you're not selling
You
Trell.
could wait a week on that even day and like look somewhere else. See how Latrell goes against this tough matchup. If he
He'll be fine.
doesn't produce, then whatever. But if he turns up, man, you've lost out on massive money, and that's a trade you could make next week and be close to 300 grand. You know.
And
And think, shit, I'm not doing that trade.
No, you go.
I was going to say, and their draw after those 3 games, they've got then Tigers, Para, Canberra, Titans, and St George.
Tigers got to win one, bro. Tigers got to win one somewhere. I don't think so, but people out there do.
Nah, they'll get one. Some team will have an off day and they'll put something together.
Luke Brooks will score a golden point winner field goal, 35 metres out from the side. Sideline.
Luke Brooks will need to score me fucking 50 tries, set up 17 others, and kick about 100 goals to get his 65 average.
Still just scraping it. All right, Bradley Baxter. Karaz to Manu for my first trade. Holmes to Garrick for my second trade. Is Holmes to Garrick sideways? Also, Mulatano worth the extra 200k over Escatoa, as I want some of the Sharks back line with their draw coming up.
What was the first one again?
Karaz to Manu,
Yeah,
first
that's fine, I
trade.
like that.
Holmes to Garrick, second. And his Holmes to Garrick sideways.
A little bit. Why are we trading Holmes out?
I think 'cause he's probably going to play Origin and yeah.
It's only round 8.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Garrick seems to be the safer bet, I guess. I've had Holmes, and I've always worried coming up against the Garrick owner more so than the Holmes owner lately.
Well, I mean, with Drinky back in the squad, Holmes will be getting better ball, which he already has started.
Yeah, yes, but still not setting the world on fire.
The Cowboys is shit at the moment.
Got a
I don't know what
45,
the fuck's going on.
45 with a try last week.
He's horrible.
So that was
No
fine.
line break.
Still.
Missed
And-
his goals too.
And then also, is Mulatano worth the extra 200k over Katoa?
So either one of them go on runs at either time. I think Mulatalo is a safe bet, but I don't know about 200k safer.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, Katoa is eventually going to get some
He'll
sort
score
of
a hat
run.
trick or something. Yeah.
Yeah, Ronaldo's definitely their go-to guy. He's definitely their go-to guy. So yeah, I'd probably pocket the 200k and look to strengthen something elsewhere, because they're both going to do same. You know, if it's not,
The price difference doesn't justify. The price difference doesn't justify the points difference.
yeah, it doesn't. All right, Matty Drew. Who is your one big smoky for the next few weeks, fellas? I flicked you that a bit earlier so you could have a think about it. For me, you know what? With Pong Dog back, I'm going to throw it out there. What's his name?
Marzi.
Fitzgibbon.
Oh.
Fitzgibbon. He scored a heap of tries with Ponga next to him. He started the year Ponga's man. I think all off season they would have been training that way.
He runs a good line too, Fitzy.
He does, man. Like, as much as we've talked shit about him in the past, but he does run a good line. He scores a good try, man. And his dad pays their bills, so he's definitely getting that start.
He's a good first try scorer.
Yeah, he scored. Both them games we're talking about, I think he scored first try in them games for Newcastle. First try in them games altogether. So, and that was off the back of Ponga brilliance.
Little short ball.
What about this? Could I tempt you with this instead of talking Teddy and all the rest of it? Could you see a world where we bring in a Pong?
Yep.
For the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
Instead
I was happy
of a
to
Teddy?
start the season with him with his history, and I'm happy to get him in.
See, I'm thinking maybe that now. I think he's a bit cheaper than Teddy too. At least fuck 100k. I think he's only 500,000 in your Pong dog.
Yeah, he's pretty cheap.
So yeah, I might even have a look into that.
530 he is. 530 break even of 87.
I've changed that,
But
Matty.
that's only because it's one game.
I've changed that,
yeah.
Matty. Ponga will be my smoky for the next few weeks. Pong dog's the man. He's going to go well. Nah, is it shit?
I don't know.
Go Pong. We don't know about the draw, but yeah.
I'm looking at it now. Cowboys, Para, then they got the bye, then they got Titans, Sharks, Manly, and then another bye.
Not bad.
Yeah, not horrible.
Not bad. And he's been going
I'll
really
pop that.
well. Like, he's been chugging
I
along.
wouldn't say
nice.
really well. That's
Better,
Let's
way
not-
better than
oh.
I expected, lad.
yeah. Let's not try and suck up now. You've already rubbished us.
No, he's just fucking. But yeah, that's all I've got there. Got any more on the live? And then we'll finish up after the live.
Yes.
Oh, and we'll do a quick captain and vice captain, fellas.
Denny Sackle.
Sexy.
Unpopular opinion.
Love
This
these.
might be the best pod you've done yet, fellas.
Thanks, Saxy.
Thank you very much for that, Saxy.
Have another anal beat, Jussie. Rip start again. The joys of Thailand. Yeah, you got another one over there. Saxy got another.
Apart from the Dragon Saxy onto the pod, of course.
Oh yeah. Come on, Saxy.
Yeah. Come on down.
Adam Robertson, looks like Juzzy has lost his hosting gig after tonight. Berg's doing a great job and not falling asleep.
I do have a picture of it. I felt bad. I was going to put it on Facebook and ask who we're sleeping on this week, but I didn't. And it had a picture of the bong in it, so I had to pull it down. It's after 9, isn't it? Yeah, we're right.
Yeah, 10 bars.
Yeah, sweet. Kids should be in bed. You're a bad parent. It's school holidays too. Kids can do whatever they want.
And one last one on the live. One last one. Kane Birch. Hey bros, fun. Run with Haas, Utokamanu in prop to Origin, or get better second prop, in brackets who. Third prop Mawale, fourth is Ben Murdoch Masilla. Or bring in Matto. Trades out would be Nat Butcher and AKP.
Yeah,
34 trades left.
don't hate it. I don't see why you're making too much of a fuss with front row. Ute's only 10 points behind the next. 15 at the most. So
We got Haas up there, leaps and bounds above everyone else, and you got
yeah, it don't
a
matter.
bunch of stragglers.
Don't get me
Even
wrong.
Tarpany hasn't been crushing it.
Or neither's Tino either. So it's only Haas up there doing that, and then the others are just all
Tohu's
around.
going okay, but still,
He's a bit dear, but
I'd rather get Matto in.
not when you can just sit. Yeah, you can sit Ute there. He'll still get you probably 45, 50. And then you're bringing in a Matto who's strengthening up your side. When you're bringing in a front rower for what? 10 points? 15 points at the most. When Matto bags a try, he gets 100. You know? So, it's a massive point swing. I'd bring Maddo in for sure over front rower.
Definitely.
I'd even play Mo Ali the way he's been playing the last 2-3 weeks.
Hasn't been going too bad. He scored was it 51?
Yeah,
51 last game? 54, sorry.
doing exactly the same thing Welch is doing for me. At double the money. So
And one last comment from Marco Escalera. Buller to slam dunk a double and be the talk of Supercoach next week.
Oh, bro, I fucking worry for this poor kid. You've seen the Tigers team, Con. They've named that young Buller, Fijian kid. Done well in the trials, but do you? Oh, we've seen it happen heaps of times before. Remember, there was the Jordan Rankins and shit like this. You bring a bloke into a team that's getting flogged week in, week out. Different for a forward. I think it's your backs and your creative players that sort of fucking gets to a bit mentally. Do you throw him in that one jersey for the Tigers now? Against who do they play this week? The Tigers Manly against Tommy fucking Travojevic? I don't do that. I don't do it to the kid.
Well, if you don't do it, when do you do it?
When the forwards start going forward and laying a
When they've
platform
won,
for the bloke.
when they've won 2 or 3 games in a row.
Well, I don't know, but
in
at
like
this point,
2027.
at this point now, he's going to go in and get cruelled from me, unless he's like.
If
next
he's ready,
level.
he's ready. Like, you got to play him at some stage.
Yeah, you might have to, but
The Tigers aren't getting that much better anytime soon.
yeah, I know, but I just, you know what, you don't want to cruel the kid.
Obviously, Dane Laurie's on the nose.
Yep. Charlie
Dewey's
Staines no
gone.
good. Dewey's gone.
So, you're running out of options as well.
Yeah,
You
but
need to try something.
I just don't know if that's the key to their problem. Like they don't look like a team as it is, and now you
I
pinning
think
your
they've got
hopes.
7 problems and Luke Brooks 1.
Yeah, you're pinning your hopes and dreams on this poor kid to come and turn
I
it
don't
all
think they're pinning
around.
their hopes and dreams on this kid coming in and turning around. I think
He's-
they're just giving him his shot.
He's playing number 1 jersey, bro. He's
Where
definitely
do you
put
want
in.
him? He's a fullback. Where do you want him to play? 10?
Yeah, but he's put in the mix. If shit goes sideways, it's not Luke Brooks' fault over there.
100%. It's always Luke Brooks'
Yeah, but
fault,
it's
no
not.
matter what.
It's not. You ask Sheens and shit. Luke Brooks is the greatest general ever to play the game. He's better than Johns. But he just doesn't have the opportunities.
That's what they tell the media. They can't just come out and sacrifice him.
They can. If you know what, at the end of the day,
I'm
wouldn't
glad I didn't let him go to
wouldn't
Newcastle.
you rather honesty from your coach to turn around and say, you know what, this is your fault, mate. I'm sorry.
Behind closed doors, I reckon they'd be a lot more truthful.
I don't think they are. I think they fucking cotton wool the bloke and. Anyway, that's a Tiger problem.
Yeah. let's
Sorry.
wrap it up.
We're out. Peace.
See you guys. Thank you.
See you later.